You know, my dear friends, tonight, before we go to shul, the women bench licht. And the little kinderlach, the little girls from the age of 3 should do the same. And they recite the Shehecheyanu, which is the traditional prayer that is recited when we usher in a new holiday. We men recite the Shehecheyanu in the synagogue just before the chazan finishes it, and when we sort of say it quietly, and then we answer the Amen. And the question comes to mind, why is it that we recite the Shehecheyanu on this day? We know that the Mishnah in Brachos teaches us that this blessing is invoked on such joyous occasions as the acquisition of a new home or a new garment or a new food. Why then on this very awesome night, when we are fasting and the mood is filled with apprehension for our very future, do we pronounce this triumphant blessing? And the answer that is given is that when we recite the Shehecheyanu, and we at that time, we have God's assurance that we shall attain forgiveness for our trespasses of the year. Obviously, the reassurance of forgiveness is a most pleasant and a most encouraging gift. And thus we recite the Shehecheyanu blessing to express our gratitude. And really, if you want to go a little deeper into this, if you permit me to do a little homiletics here, I would like to interpret this blessing of Shehecheyanu as the 4 different type of Jews that we have. There is the Shehecheyanu Jew. The word Shehecheyanu means that we have lived till this day. We thank God for living to this day. For him, for the Shehecheyanu Jew, the name of the game is mere survival. The survival of his family and of the small, confined, and very limited group of blood relations who constitute his entire world. Like the biblical Noah, the Shehecheyanu Jew is concerned with the security and well-being of his wife and children and no one else. The boat at the pier, the Cadillac in the garage, the pilgrimage to the Caribbean, and the impressive score at the tennis court or the golf course constitute for him the very fulfillment of his prayers and the realization of his highest goals. The second son, the Kiyamonu means we have existed, is concerned beyond mere survival. He expands and widens the vast acres of his existential territory. Within the area of his dreams and concerns, he admits Klal Yisroel, the people of Israel. The front page story and the television comments about Israel are part of his relished daily diet. The pilgrimage to Jerusalem by the various dignitary accelerates his blood pressure, and the remarks of the Prime Minister to the President of the United States are incorporated into his sacred possessions. Our Kiyamonu Jew is refined, sophisticated, enlightened, and even sensitive. He is an inseparable part of his people. Kiyum Ha'uma emerges as the catechism of his very existence. He is a nationalistic existentialist. But if you ask him existence for what purpose, his answer is neither clear nor inspiring. He is not certain. He is unaware of the distinctive Jewish concept of existence for a specific purpose. He is not concerned about the Jewish lifestyle based upon law and the inspiration of the Torah. The massive Jewish achievements exemplified by the Talmud, Maimonides, Rambam, the Gaon of Vilna, the Chofetz Chaim, and the Alter Rebbe, and so on. For him, survival for the sake of survival constitute his noblest aspirations. The third son is the Higiyanu son. He is enlightened, committed, and is possessed of a profound sense of mission. He has cultivated a higher level of sensitivity to the needs of his people and his heritage. He is moved by the plight of Soviet Jewry. The state of Israel is an integral part of his very existence. He is a founder and supporter of institutions of intensive Jewish education. Clearly, his life is right and meaningful. But he fails to move in thought and action beyond the contemporary Jewish scene. He feels that he is in the stage of Higiyonu. The word Higiyonu means we have reached. That he has reached his goal. And he may even feel that he attained an impressive level of spiritual security. finally, we are in the presence of the fourth son, the Lazman Hazeh. Lazman Hazeh means to this time. This son, possessed of all the virtues of the Shehecheyanu son, is profoundly concerned about the continuity of Jewish life, creativity, and the Jewish heritage far beyond his lifespan. This is the kind of a son who is moved beyond description by the following news items. U.S. Jewry dwindling. No more than 944,000 persons in the year 2076. New York. When the United States celebrates its tricentennial in 2076, the American Jewish community is likely to number no more than 944,000 persons, and conceivably as few as 10,420, according to Eliyahu Bergman, Assistant Director of the Harvard Center for Population Studies. The dramatic decline from a peak Jewish population in the United States of nearly 6 million was already in evidence during the bicentennial. The erosion has two causes. An American Jewish birth rate below the replacement level, which is the level at which the population naturally replenishes itself, and the rate of Jewish assimilation and intermarriage. The Jewish intermarriage rate in the United States is close to 50%. This level is continuously going up, and by great percentages. By combining three different assumptions on the level of intermarriage with an average rate, 30% of the offspring of mixed marriages are lost to Jews, and the actual Jewish birth rate. Harvey Liebenstein and Samuel Lieberman at the Harvard Center for Population Studies projected three American Jewish population levels for 2076. Number one, if the intermarriage rate stabilizes at 15%, the Jewish population would decline to 944,000. If the intermarriage rate rises in stages over the next 25 years from 50 to 50, from 15 to 50 to 50, there would be 420,000 Jews in the United States in 2076. And finally, if the intermarriage rate continues its rapid rise over the next 10 years and stabilizes at 50%, as it is now more or less, the American Jewish population would dwindle to 10,420 in the year 2076. The consequences of this phenomenon, says Bergman, are chilling to contemplate not only for American Jewry, for as historian J.L. Talman recently observed, a disaster befalling U.S. Jewry would sound the doom of Israel. The Lazman Hazeh Jew thinks in terms of decades and centuries. His dreams and even his actions transcend his immediate surroundings and contemporary challenges. And more than that, the Lazman Hazeh Jew, like Abraham of old, does not wait for the challenge or the crises to knock upon his door. He recognizes the danger signals with courage and prudence. Clearly, he is constantly in earnest search for the potential Baal Tshuva or supporter of the basic project, educational, synagogal, or national, which reach out across continents and generations. Moved by the messianic zeal and mission, he translates the opportunity of today for the needs of tomorrow. Lazman Hazeh, that ultimate day and era when Jewish life will reach a cherished level of excellence in performance and the maximum in achievement, emerges as his noblest dream and highest aspiration. From the pitfalls and the agonies of today, the Lazman Hazeh Jew draws knowledge and inspiration to move on into the distant future. Verily, Zahu al Tzaddik, which we recite tonight, the searchlight of the righteous is directed towards the unknown future, because the Tzaddik, like Abraham of old, is in constant search of the ideal place and moment to sow the seeds of the future. My dear friend, on this sacred night, which is so different from all other nights of the year, when all our four sons gather in the synagogue, it is our fervent prayer and most cherished hope to witness the gradual transformation of the Shehecheyanu and Kiyamonu and Shehecheyanu Jews into the Lazman Hazeh Jews, a Jew who gathers his strength and vision from yesterday and today for the glory and the majesty of tomorrow. But we believe that the Jews have a great future. I disagree with all those who procrastinate and all these false prophets. With God's help, Jews will live and grow, and we will have Yiddish Nachas, and we always close the service of Ne'ilah on a very happy note. The note which tells us of the oncoming of Mashiach Tzidkenu, a year of miracles, a sweet, a good, and a wonderful year to all of you, and have an easy fast.